really wish that, honestly, that somebody would get a group of the surviving people that had implants removed from Dr. Roger Lier and get them on a show, all of them, be it a TV show, a radio show, and, interview each one and let even each one of the, the people that were, had implants ask the other people that had implants questions.
Yeah.
And I think that would give us a lot more answers out there because, the thing is, Dr. Roger Lier would get on Art Bell's show and talk about, what was going on.
Yeah.
But, the mainstream news didn't really take Roger Lier seriously.
Well, there was some UFO community, and they didn't know. And it was really sad, and there were some other people that I won't mention any names that I've talked to, and I've really not been appreciative of their response. It's been kind of sorry to some things, but that's life.
Yeah, but I'm
learning to accept it, a little bit. Not to say I like it, and I've been like I said, I've been talking about it since my surgery. It's going to be going on 20 years of my 60 plus years, a third of my life or a little better. I mean, it's, and sitting here just going around in a circle, it's kind of sad. I noticed though, now we're getting to a little different type of belief form. You go back to when my parents, let's say, or when I was born in the 50s and the 40s and what it was. And then, through the 70s and 80s and early 90s. And now we got, you've seen how that the perspective of what it is out there is kind of manipulated and changed around. It's kind of interesting, especially for a guy like me.
It is, but I would love that information that Dr. Roger Lier gathered to get out there, and who knows where it's at. And it's a shame because right now I think it would answer a lot more questions.
Well, he's still got his book, and I think it's as good as anything. But a lot of people, I was told by one person that it's not because he didn't have a high enough degree. He didn't go to Harvard school or whatever. Of course, like I said, you have people buying their way into these high-priced colleges now, so that really makes that argument real well. And like I said, I could tell you, I have two daughters in the medical field. I got two daughters that became doctors, and they, top of your class and bottom of your class. When you get your diploma, you're a doctor, and I mean, it doesn't matter where, it's what you got. And I think Roger had a lot of it. Roger was a very educated, smart man.
Yeah, and very dedicated, trying to prove that something was going on. And, he did it let's face it, how much money did he lose a year by not doing his practice, by doing what he was doing with the taking people in.
Well, he gave up a lot of something even more valuable than money. And people don't realize this. And him and Stanford and some of them guys, they gave up family time. They gave up something, money can't buy. They gave up, family time to go and do these kinds of things and try to be honest and forthright to the world and the UFO community to bring things out there. They give up family time. Well, the money, but they give up that family time. And I think with Roger and Stan, I kind of see where it kind of showed up,
Yeah, sometimes I wondered if it affected his health too, because that. I'm sure with with anybody doing it, you'll have a little more stress, you going again this weekend, it's probably about like playing golf or fishing every weekend, but you have your family members that know that's what you do. So, but like I said, it doesn't make it any easier for sometimes. Now, I'm going to jump back. When you had your implant removed, did you feel any different at all after the implant was removed, or did you just feel the same?
Gary, I kind of got looking back through my notes. There's lots of things but I picked up chronic fatigue, and that's probably the most obvious thing that I've had to deal with since then. I think I picked up some fatigue. I think the object in my body kept my neurotransmitters artificially high because of my precognitive abilities, and then when I had the object removed, and known to me, well, then all my my hormone levels dropped down to normal, and normal doesn't really cut it no more. So that's the one thing I do notice that I've complained about. I pressed the government as to having a disability because of this chronic fatigue, and we had an interesting go around. They told me to take him to court, and I had to go to district court. And I needed a lawyer, but I could never find a lawyer. But that's all right. I mean, I made my point. But I learned to live with it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, how about otherwise? I mean, how was your health? And the time you saw the UFO to the time it was removed, how much time span was there from that time? From the time you saw that UFO to the time you actually, Dr. Roger Lier, removed it? How many months went by?
20 plus years. Almost
wow.
21 years.
Well, okay, while you had that implant in your body, how were you with colds, getting sick, things like that?
No, but I took a free blood test in the mid-'80s, and I come back and I had an asterisk by every category. My wife had a cat, and I went to see liver doctors for 2 years, trying to figure it out, and finally seen one that was very expensive, and he told me to take a look at my liver, and we was talking it over, but he told me he didn't think whatever was wrong with me was fatal. So when we left his office, I told my wife I was done. If it wasn't going to kill me, I wasn't going to worry about it no more. And I wanted to go to horse around to get something else to screwed up. So
yeah,
that was that, and then I had a couple of false positive heart attacks. I never ever got that one figured out, but it took several years. It took it wasn't until maybe 6 years ago or so that my blood test really kind of started coming back around and showing more normal.
Yeah, like I told you last time you were on the show, you should have went back and checked to see if you had any more implants in you, because if I remember right, after you had that implant taken out, some time went by, but didn't you and your wife see another UFO?
Oh, yeah, I've seen two more, and I've probably been abducted since then. In fact, I can't remember, but, what the circumstances are surrounding an event that I had, kind of like me and Travis Walton kind of had the same thing happen to us. He was talking, but there's probably no doubt in my mind that I've been taken and I could have another implant, but, I don't think I should be spending the money to find it. I've told the government if they, if this society ain't smart enough to figure out to work on something, it's sad that I'm going to have to leave my grandchildren with that kind of factor, but that's the way it's going to be. I got no idea where to look. I'd have no idea really what we could be looking for.
Yeah, and if you
they might have stuck an implant in me that they don't want it to be found. So,
Yeah, and
so I just don't dwell on it. I just, if I've got one, I got one. If I don't, I don't. Hey.
Yeah.
There ain't no other way to look at it.
Yeah, there isn't. And that's the scary part. But, like Whitney had his implant, which he hasn't had removed in his ear. Mm-hmm. I had a guess that one was in his male glands. I've had people on, a lot of them in their arms, their legs, the scoops, behind the knee. Yeah, and it's a lot more than I even thought. It seems like people, that's about, when they're talking about disclosure about UFOs, like I said, I was really disappointed what happened, but it brought a lot more people out. It claimed that they were abducted, and they all pretty much, have the same type of stories. And a lot of the people I pre-interview before I bring them on the show, Timothy, and I ask them key questions, and they're all telling me pretty much the same, at least the ones I feel that are being truthful, okay? Are telling me pretty much.
I understand your point there,
Yeah, they're telling me the same thing.
Yeah. Of course, and you have people that can learn a little bit, and they can kind of come close, so, which is sad. But, I just, I can't, like I said, I can't tell you what an alien looks like, and I couldn't say that I've been abducted, but, I had an implant removed from my body that 16 other people had similar things removed, and 7 of them, other 6 had identical, and they talk about they got abduction experience memories, so
yeah, and
that's all I go with.
Yeah, I was actually listening last night to a replay of Walton's, abduction or what happened to him. And when he was on the spacecraft and all the weird and the pain, because he said that, whatever they were doing to him, they didn't give anything to kill the pain. So he was feeling that. And that's what scares me. Some of the guests I've had on the show say the same thing, that whatever experiments that was going on with them and stuff that was being done without nothing. And
well, if they were an artificial being and they couldn't feel pain, they really wouldn't understand the concept of pain.
No. And what really scared me, like the guest I was talking to last night, Rob, we were talking about some cases where people were basically abducted and then, like the cattle mutilations done with humans, but they were done alive. Things like where their intestines were sucked out of their body while they were still living, and the eyes were, removed while they were still living, because, they could tell some of this stuff when they found the bodies and ran tests that the person didn't die instantly from what the ordeal that was going. So you are lucky from the standpoint, that you're able to walk around. I got a funny feeling there's a lot of people have been abducted and they're gone, and it's no record of where they went.
No, and that's right. I never ever said I wasn't a lucky man, and you're right. And like I said, I think so. And that's scary. Now, whether they're still hard at it as much, I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, I know they're still mutilating cattle and other animals horribly. So, what would stop them from mutilating people? I mean, if they, think if that's if they just me at the wrong place, kind of like Travis, he was abduction, but then he's kind of gets talking more that last time I told him that his kind of was an ambulance ride for him a little bit, that they, and it could have been, he was talking about maybe some different phenomena type happening that served them. Maybe it was just, kind of got the wrong place, and, extraterrestrial craft and then natural phenomenon here that we don't really understand a lot. And in between, it got electrical bolt, he didn't know. But, yeah, we have that.
Oh, yeah.
But now, you could say I'm lucky, but I think the aliens, they had a reason for abducting me, and might have spared me being found somewhere. You know what I mean? And that possibility is quite true. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I will say one thing. We touched base on the show again the other night. People that are literally going like Mount Adams or other places looking UFO hotspots and going out there, with their lasers, and they think they see a UFO and they're shining these lasers, high-powered lasers at the UFOs. That's just like going out in an area where there's a serial killer. And you're just standing there, inviting them to kill you. I think that's one of it's not the safe way to go out and try to, show proof that UFOs exist by going somewhere where they, do happen to be sighted, and then try to flag them down to draw attention to you.
Yeah, that is one aspect that I am finding a little puzzling anymore, but, to save the whiplash, I don't know. But it's sure, a person like me who was just, I wasn't out looking and got abducted and implanted and got experimented on it, what's that say for me then? If I could stand out here on my porch and flash my flashlight up in the sky a couple of times, and bingo. I mean, I'm not, people are saying enough of it to say it exists. I mean, it's a troubling aspect of a different level for some reason. It seems to be not like my generation, but the generations that are coming after me.
Oh, yeah. And the sightings